Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, May 10th, 2023, 9:30 meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
No. Yes. For those of you who have not been here before, the protocol that we follow is we allow the applicant to state their case initially. Then, if there are any objections, we allow the objectants to voice their objections. And we then finish up with the applicant summing up their case. Everything that is done here is live streamed. It's put on record, it's archived. We have a court reporter here. Stephanie will take everything down for those of you who would like to view it again and again and again. If you're objecting and someone comes up before you, also an objectant, and says their piece, and you agree with them, you don't have to recite everything all over again. You can simply say, I agree with the person who spoke before me. We do accept emails, we accept letters, we read them all before we make a decision on a case. Okay, Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, we have one application for adjournment. It's case 323 through 30223, Point Lookout, Joseph and Lorraine Cifarelli. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, construct two-story dwelling, use variance, height, construct two-story detached garage, forward of dwelling with less than required side yard setback, and lot area occupied variance. Variances, lot area occupied, side yard, construct outside shower attached to proposed garage, also known as 79 Inwood Avenue.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before we proceed, Patrick, do you have a phone book that I could sit on so I look like a grown-up?
I relate.
Go ahead.
Is Mr. Curtin here? Yeah. If you please come forward.
So, Mr. Curtin, you're in opposition?
Yes. My mother, who had hip surgery, and she's doing fine, gets back on Friday. I've been getting her mail for the past month. We were not notified. My sister found out Monday night, so I came down yesterday and put in a written request for a delay or of a week. I don't think that's unreasonable. There's substantial variances that they're going for. I live in Point Lookout. My mom has since 1947. I realize you need lot variances because they're substandard lots, but there's some things on this that are of concern, and I'd like to review it with my mother and have her attorney look at it.
Do you have any objection?
I do. I'm sorry.
No, not. Absolutely. Okay. Patrick?
Can I say one more thing? If we don't have a continuance, I have substantial objections that I'd like to voice.
It's an application for an adjournment. Ordinarily, first time on, we grant adjournments as a matter of course.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay. May 24th?
Hold on a minute. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, I have a question for you. I noticed that one of the requests, I only bring this up not to get into the substance of the case, but rather to make sure it doesn't affect the adjournment date. I see that as part of the request with relief, there's a use variance, height, construct two-story detached garage forward of the dwelling. Why is that before it's for a use variance, if you know? Is it proposed to be used as a garage?
It's proposed to use it as a garage with unfinished storage above it.
Okay, maybe that's what generates it. Okay, I just want to make sure it was properly here, because otherwise we give you an adjournment
At
and
least
you got to
have
go back to
time
the building
to correct it.
department. Okay.
Understood, thank you.
Is that it? Thanks.
Okay. May 24th is next week. Does that work? May 24th at 9:30
2
a.m.?
weeks, or is 1 week enough?
2 weeks is fine for me, too.
I
just want time to review it.
I would prefer giving them 2 weeks, Patrick, just in case. Just so that your mom has time to review it.
Yeah.
No one comes in unbeknownst to
Patrick,
That would be June 7th. June 7th?
is that okay?
Does that work?
9:30.
9:30?
There will be no further mailing, so put it on your calendar, and to the extent you mentioned other people, you might want to make them aware of the date, because there's no new mailing,
So the date is June 7th.
at 9:30.
I greatly appreciate your consideration, and I
Thank you for being reasonable.
Okay.
I believe there's one more application for adjournment. Are you-
Come up.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Stephen Landy, and I represent the applicant for
Which case?
I'm sorry.
310, 11, and 12.
We call the case.
Yeah, I had to call the cases.
We're going to call the case, and then you can do the application for adjournment.
Okay.
10.
It's 310 through 312, so it's, let me read them in.
Shall I step back?
You can say that. We have a request for adjournment on case 31023, East Atlantic Beach, 37 Buffalo Avenue LLC, and Kenneth Kruglich. Variances, subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, rear yard, construct dwelling with garage and second and third story decks, demolish existing dwelling. We also have case 31123, East Atlantic Beach, 37 Buffalo Avenue LLC, and Kenneth Kruglich. Variances, subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, rear yard construct dwelling with garage and second and third story decks, west side of Buffalo Avenue, 230 feet south of Beach Boulevard. In addition, we have 31223 East Atlantic Beach, 37 Buffalo Avenue LLC, and Kenneth Kruglich. Variances, subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, rear yard construct dwelling with garage and second, third story decks, west side of Buffalo Avenue, 260 feet south of Beach Boulevard.
Morning.
Good morning. This is a first-time request.
Yeah,
This is a first-time request.
who do you represent, sir?
I represent the applicant,
And you're requesting the adjournment?
and I'm requesting an adjournment.
Okay.
We have two bases, if you're interested in that.
We are.
We believe that at this juncture, we now know that there are three opponents. We'd like to, A, have an opportunity to converse with them to understand, if they'll let us, what their objections are. And second, we are interested in procuring the services of a real estate expert.
The opponents, I assume, are here.
So I believe
Could you
some are,
step
yes.
up, please? Please step up. Or a representative, not all of you, just a representative. You understand this is the first time on, and as I stated earlier, normally first time on, the request for adjournment is almost always granted. There will not be another mailing. Do one of you want to come up and agree upon a date?
We may not be able to get a date that works for everyone, so.
I know for me,
So you're
the
all-
7th that
We'll
you picked
try.
for the last one is good for us. June
Okay.
7th.
Sir,
Yeah.
your name and address for the record? sir?
Robert McDevitt, 46 Buffalo Avenue.
Okay. Does June 7th work for the agenda?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we're starting to follow up on June 7th.
Okay.
June 14th,
June
we don't have any
14th.
I
adjournments
think
on.
that might be better anyway.
No.
So those of you who said no, can you tell us why June 14th is not a good date?
I'll be away. I'm traveling to California, and I'm trying to take over.
Well, the adjournments will almost always be granted, so, and if you have objections, as I stated earlier, you could submit them in writing or by letters, emails, we accept all of that, and we actually read them.
Can I just ask you what the other basis for your needed, you want to meet, you want to meet with
They
them,
wanna
and
meet.
the expert is the other one?
Correct.
I'm thinking of how, so have you already identified the real estate expert?
No, but we will act prudently and quickly.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe June 14th is a wee bit too soon.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yes, ma'am?
What's after that?
I'm sorry, who are the people that he wants to meet with that are opposed to, you know, is
You
that
want-
what you're saying?
Okay.
I'm guessing that one of the things we do fairly regularly here is when there are people who are, even if they're not objectors, if they're interested, usually applicants who are reasonable, as this gentleman seems to be, will schedule a time, like town hall, for lack of a better term, to at least show the plans, go over them, answer questions. Oftentimes, that leads to some minor adjustments, sometimes, you know, in cases where you can move the house 2 feet and it helps, whatever. So when you ask who he wants to meet with, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, it's whoever would like to meet with him and, you know, see if there's any kind of arrangement that is better acceptable to the parties involved.
Yes, sir.
How would we be contacted for this meeting? Like, it wouldn't be through the zoning board, right?
No.
I would ask for your information, and I would contact you.
I assume all of you have signed in?
Yeah, but we're not the ones that are gonna okay this variance, it's you.
Ma'am.
That's correct.
Ma'am, but if you can work out whatever your differences are, or minimize the differences, that will help. Okay? All right? So June 14th is not okay? Then,
I have a feeling the 7th is going to be too soon for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Most importantly, the group here knows
just a
less
minute.
about
We
it.
don't meet the 21st.
We don't meet the
We
21st, it's the
We
28th.
meet June 28th. Is that okay? Now, maybe everybody can't be here. Pardon?
Every date you've chosen is good for me.
Got it.
We'll just make it the 28th. That's a month.
Yeah.
That gives
June
you a
28th.
month.
That should give everyone sufficient time.
June 28th, 9:30.
June 28th, 9:30.
Okay, again, as you guys heard and the chairman mentioned, no further notice goes out. If there are other people who you know of who couldn't be here, who would like to either be involved in whatever meeting is scheduled and/or come to the next hearing, please let them know,
Would I
okay?
be permitted to take a look at the list of people who are here today?
Absolutely, and you can all go outside and you can ask them for the addresses,
Give your
et cetera.
name and number to
Give
them.
them your name and phone number.
Can we get this in writing, that we're postponing it? Anything,
No.
something like that? No?
No.
This is,
No, but there's a video that'll be in the transcript. Is this because you want to remember it, or is it because you want to make
Yeah,
sure
I
that?
want to pass it on. I want to pass it on to
It's on for the
other
28th.
concerned neighbors.
It's on for the 28th
Yeah, that's-
at 9:30. If they'd like to go on the website, they could see the case on the website. We will make decisions, we will have decisions made either after the morning session or the afternoon session. We will again reiterate the fact that this case has been adjourned to the 28th at 9:30.
You want to hear from these folks?
No.
Raise your hand.
Can I help you?
I have a question. Why did this gentleman
Ma-
wait until today to ask for an adjournment? Why didn't he
Okay,
send
ma'am,
a letter to us, and we would have met with him way before this?
Because he has to. He has to appear on the date the case is originally scheduled, and that is when adjournments are requested, not before, not after.
Okay, but he would have been able to let all of us know that he's willing to discuss some changes.
Right, but he
He-
didn't know
he-
which,
Okay, that's
He didn't know
beside,
who would be
that's
here.
besides the point. He's now made you aware of the fact that he's willing to discuss changes, and you should avail yourself of that opportunity.
and for those of you who were mentioning other issues about who decides, et cetera, the way it usually works in a case like this, one where there's several interested people, they have a meeting, and if that leads to some pieces of the request that maybe are altered or not and agreed to, usually the applicant, and in your case, I assume some of you also will be at the next hearing, and the applicant would recount the proposed changes the applicant is asking to make, that the parties all thought would make it a better, more acceptable to at least some people than it was prior to that. And that comes to us at the next hearing, and we include that in our consideration and our deliberation to the extent that we give it the weight we deem appropriate, but it's just a mechanism for us to get more information from the people all affected.
In short, in short, if you can find some accommodation, that would be helpful. That's it. It's on for the 28th, 9:30.
So that's the long and the short of it.
Yeah,
You got that, didn't you?
I know. I know.
Just did.
Okay. And if you'd like to discuss the issues, please,
I'm going to speak to them now outside. if they'll-
outside, right, everybody outside.
Good day.
Business cards to them if they
Okay, great. Out. Okay,
Okay. Next, we have case 29823, Merrick, Freeport Merrick Rotary Club. Amusement ride special event, duration May 25th, 2023 through May 29th, 2023, AKA Town of Hempstead Parking Lot M5.
I might add, it is with great pleasure that we again see Mr. Bavone and the Freeport Merrick Rotary Club before us at the 11th hour and not before that.
Gentlemen, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Good morning, Chairman Richard M. Bavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue, East Meadow, appearing as the agent for the Freeport Merrick Rotary Club, 294 West Merrick Road in Freeport. Again, we apologize for having these submitted. It's a process that we have to go through with individual event riders, these events. So today with me is the president of the Freeport Merrick Rotary, Mark Rieger. Just give him your address, please.
Yeah. Mark Rieger, 294 West Merrick Road, Freeport, New York.
If this event is approved, it will be held in the northwest corner of Sunrise Highway and Merrick Avenue in Merrick, known as the Town of Hempstead Parking Lot M5. The dates will be as follows: Thursday, May 25th, which would be 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., the 26th, which would be 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., the 27th, 12 p.m. to 11 p.m., the Sunday the 28th, which would be 12 p.m. to 11 p.m., Monday the 29th, which would be 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. All music will cease at 10 p.m. in the evening. There will be no alcoholic beverage served at the event. The operator is Dreamland Amusements, Inc. There will be security on site by Dreamland Amusements, Inc. Also, NCPD has been notified of the event. Sanitation is handled by Dreamland Amusement, and also Town of Hempstead Sanitation, which has been notified for this event. Town Board resolution, we just submitted it in to the board, which is 417-2023, approving the use of the town parking lot. Application has been filed with the Nassau County Department of Health for any food services. Once approved, the application is filed to Town Clerk's office and for the special event permit. Total of 18 rides. New York State Department of Health inspects the rides before the event starts.
Well done.
Thank you.
Did he
You've been
miss
doing this a
anything?
while.
Been doing it a while. Do I have a motion? If there are no other questions or no questions from the board,
Mr. Chairman, I would move that case 298 of 2023, Merrick, Freeport Merrick Rotary Club, as was previously defined and described in detail by Mr. Bavone, be approved as requested.
well done
Thank you.
and brief. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Granted from the bench.
Thank you very much.
Have a great time.
Next, we have case 29923, near Westbury, Museum of Urban Arts. Amusement rides special event, duration June 15th, 2023 through June 25th, 2023, also known as 1500 Old Country Road.
Name and address for the record.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Pavone, I have you sworn in from the last meeting.
Again, good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Richard M. Bavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue, East Meadow. the agent for Museum of Urban Arts, holding an event at the Lesso Mall located at 1500 Old Country Road, which is Westbury. To the left of me is Stephanie Salomon.
The address, hi, Stephanie Suleiman. The address is 1500 Old Country Road, Westbury, New York, 11590. And I'm the founder of the Museum of Urban Arts.
Just ask quickly, Mr. Phone, what does the Museum of Urban Arts do? Is this in that same place that?
This is like, you actually heard this last year. This is the second year that they're doing this event in the same location. Dates would, you want me to read off the dates for you? No? Okay.
Well, I mean, you can do your presentation. I just wanted to know about the museum, the one sentence description about the Museum of Urban Arts.
So we're actually a cultural, educational enrichment center and a state museum. We host exhibitions, classes, and workshops for the community. And we also have a gallery that sells the artists' works. We have studio spaces with artists that create, and large-scale murals on the first floor, and just different exhibitions we host different exhibitions. Currently, we have one going for portraits of immigrants, which is stories of 17 immigrants, and we also have a gallery with artists from all over the world, many from the county of Nassau, but also
Do
all
amateur
around.
artists come there on a, like, I want to go paint for 3 hours, so you get a by the hour area to work in, or no?
We do have studio spaces where they can come and create. Yeah, people are welcome to come and create.
Oh, that's all. I was just curious. Go ahead, Mr. Phone.
Thank you.
Mrs. D'Amato plans on changing her career.
So I'll make this as painless as possible.
You showed up.
I know. Thursday, June 15th, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, the 16th, 5 p.m. to 11. Saturday, the 17th, noon to 11 p.m. Sunday, the 18th, noon to 10 p.m. Monday, the 19th, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then the event shuts down for 2 days and then comes back on Thursday, the 22nd, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, the 23rd, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday, the 24th, noon to 11 p.m. Sunday, the 25th, noon to 10 p.m. So also, go ahead. The event is handled also by Dreamland Amusements, Inc. They have approximately 18 rides. It'll be handled in the northeast portion of the mall parking lot, and there's also ample additional parking for the rest of the mall to operate. They were very successful last year, and it proved the fact that this can happen at this location. There'll be on-site portable toilets for anybody attending on the outside, no alcoholic beverages. All music will cease at 10 p.m. Sanitation is handled by Dreamland Amusement, and security is private security on site. NCPD has issued a letter, which was, I don't know if I submitted it yet, but I will now.
We'll accept that in evidence.
They issued a letter noting the dates of the event. Food vendors are required to secure food service permits from Nassau County Board of Health. Also, prior to the event starting, New York State Labor Department does inspect the rides, and so for their safety. And again, the Museum of Urban Arts, as Stephanie had said, is an educational organization, 501c3. The monies raised by this event will be for the operating expenses for the year to operate their museum. They're a hands-on arts and teaching. This is the second year holding the event, and we thank you very much, and that's my case.
Thank you very much. And it's refreshing to see that you came in just about a month before the event is going to start. I can't imagine why the others can't do that. However, do I have any other questions from the board? And if not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that case 299 of 2023, near Westbury, the Museum of Urban Arts Street Fair, located affecting the property at 1500 Old Country Road, be approved as requested.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Have a great
Have a great time.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Pray for the weather to hold out.
Next, we have case 29623 Inwood, Andrew Caparelli. Renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 165 Jefferson Street. Let the record reflect, Mr. Pavone is still sworn in from his earlier hearings.
Mr. Pavone, this is a renewal of a grant to maintain a two-family dwelling. The building department inspected the premises on, I believe it's January 27th, 2023, and found that the applicant was in compliance with all conditions previously imposed by this board. Do you have anything else to add, sir?
Other than the fact that this has been a family-owned two-family for over 65 years, the same family's been in this house and requesting the extensions of time, the actual renewals, I should say, as they move forward. They want to maintain the two-family.
Okay. Do I have any other questions? Any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Pavone, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Thank you,
Second.
and have a wonderful
All
day.
in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you.
Next, we have case 29723 North Belmore, Marie Bliss. Use variance to construct accessory structure with outdoor kitchen and bathroom, not permitted, higher and larger than permitted and exceeds horizontal maximum on both sides, also known as 855 Linstead Lane. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Thank you.
Before we proceed, we seem to have a shortage of applicants for the remainder of the calendar, morning calendar. I see only 2 people in the audience, and we have about 7,
I have
8
one more
kids.
case after this also, but that's it.
Well, that's
Got enough
not
for it.
enough. Glad to see you back from your latest vacation, Mr. Monasteri, so you can proceed.
Thank you.
Since you're never in your office, but go ahead.
I could also use one of those phone books over here. All right. So good morning, members of the board. Mr. Chair, my name is Mark Anthony Monasteri, architect. My office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore. And this morning I am representing the owners of the property, Mr. and Mrs. Bliss, who are not only the owners but also the occupants of the property. I'm here today applying for an oversized accessory structure, in this case a cabana. This cabana, which we have applied for in the past, has basically been cut in half from the original request. Our new proposed cabana would be 18 by 33 versus the 18 by 62 as our original request was, for a total of 603 square feet. Of that 603 square feet, only 172 square feet are enclosed, which the enclosed area consists of the pool mechanicals, a changing area, small, a stackable washer-dryer closet, and a bathroom. All other space is open, which includes the barbecue area and the eating-sitting area. Our requests are to increase the permitted size from the permitted 144 square feet to 603 square feet. This is an increase of 459 square feet. Although this may seem as a large increase, it's been, at least in my eyes, becoming more and more of a trend for clients for these larger covered areas in their backyard, especially on a large property such as this. Additionally, where the pool is located on this property, which is a 250 deep foot property, the pool itself is located towards the very back of the property. This would put it, I think, about 144 feet from the back of the house. So they're trying to keep everything there. They have an older generation parents.
Mr. Montessori,
We
it's
would-
described as an outdoor kitchen and, structure with an outdoor kitchen and bathroom. Is the
It ha-
bathroom outdoors?
No, the bathroom is part of the 172 square foot enclosure.
So it's an enclosure with a room and a bathroom, and then there's an outdoor kitchen.
Yes.
It's almost like a little studio apartment, except you cook outside.
It'd be difficult to have it as a studio apartment. There is, if I could give you a floor plan, because I don't believe you guys have one.
That'd be, I'd
Great.
like that if you can have
To
it.
accept that?
I'm gonna submit both pages there, just so you can see it. I just want to give you a moment to take a look at what I submitted, so it makes sense of the 172 square feet of enclosure.
Is the garage a garage?
Yes.
It's not been converted to living space or?
No. He's a contractor, the owner, so he has a lot of stuff in there, his stuff, right?
That's enough information.
As you can see, the list of maintains that I've had.
What, Mr. Ministeri,
Yes.
what is the structure appears to be partially enclosed and primarily open?
Correct.
Can you give us the dimensions of the enclosed area?
The dimensions of the enclosed area, which I think I just submitted to, is about a third.
It's that one side, so the shower and the pool equipment's enclosed, the couch is in a covered area.
Open.
And the kitchen's in the covered area.
Correct. I'm gonna say it's approximately a third that is enclosed. The back half being the mechanical areas for the pool itself,
The changing area,
a small changing hallway almost.
the bathroom, the shower, and the electric stackable washer and dryer. That's
sir.
the only portion that's going to be enclosed.
That's the only part that's enclosed. The rest of it is roofed over, but not enclosed.
Yeah, Mr. Montessori, so if the board were, after deliberations, inclined to look favorably on your application, it is quite large. I'm sorry, I missed the height. What is the height?
13, I didn't get there yet, that's why, but.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can continue, but I think it's
Okay.
13 and a half feet.
Okay.
13.52 feet, yes.
0.5, and did they apply the shed height of 9 or the average 12 to it?
No, I gave you total height,
Well, what did the building department determine was allowed?
9.
So
It's
they did the
accessory.
shed one?
It's accessory, yes.
So if we were inclined to look favorably on the application, obviously, not suggesting your client would do anything wrong, but, you know, when the house gets sold one day, one of the obvious risks that we would have is someone enclosing the other
Enclosing.
two sections, which would be pretty easy to do, and now all of a sudden you got a second small residence, you know, on the premises. So would your client be willing to accept a condition that is a covenant that it may never be enclosed?
100%
Like, no one can even make an application to enclose?
deal. I like that.
All right, go ahead.
So do we.
Okay, so I'll finish my requests.
602 square, and by the way, did the building department do, when it did larger, did it do the whole 602 square feet as, did they consider that whole, the whole size to be the?
Accessory structure, yes.
What was it, over the 144?
Can you say the last part again?
So, of course, 144 is allowable, right?
Yes.
We know that. When the building department determined that you needed a variance for the size, did they determine the entire 602 square feet to be the larger amount,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, they did.
For the record, Mr. Ministeri, there seem to be a slew of open building permits. Are they
There
all
is a
gonna be-
slew.
They'll be closed out.
They will be. We're trying to get it all done in one shot.
Impressive.
We'd like to increase the horizontal maximum for the permitted 12 feet to 18 feet in depth and 33 and a half in length. And lastly, to increase the height from the 9-foot permitted to 13.52 feet. That's our requests.
The pool?
Mr. Montessori,
Hold
Go
on
you've
ahead.
a
been to the
second.
premises?
Have I been to the premises?
Yes.
Yes, many times, yes.
No.
Several times.
Joe? No. Nope.
So I can't tell by looking at this,
Here you go, Joe.
Linstead Lane. So Linstead Lane, it somehow looks like it's,
Dead ends into where the school goes.
It's all a private right-of-way as well.
Yes.
well, hold on, how wide is it? Because this is 25, but then there's
The
this
property
section too.
is 80.
No, so,
Right-of-way.
pardon me, in looking at the radius map, so I see the Linstead Lane, the portion that I think is 25 feet wide, it looks like it's saying, and it's in all white, you know, that small section. Then
Okay.
an equally wide section in gray, looks like some kind of easement across everyone's property.
Can I approach?
What do you think? Can I take my jacket off? Of course, I'm not gonna-
There is parking on it, because I designed this house, and I'm designing this house right here. They're all size of properties, and they all have the same exact thing, and yes, there are.
Is this all 288? Is this all 288 stuff? Is this a town? Oh, is this road, is this look like a real road if I were driving out there? And who maintains it? Is this a 288 case?
Yeah.
Must be.
Yeah, it's an old right-of-way. It's been there for longer than you've been alive.
No, but I just, so do they have 288 for this?
I think they did have 288. It's 25 feet.
Well, no, there's.
But it's a full width.
No, this,
Right down, and you can park on both sides, and still.
this side's 25, Joe, but I think then there's this easement,
Yes.
it might be 50. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long established right-of-way.
And I believe it's something to do with the school, which is in the end.
I remember it from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been there.
It's a weird property, it's like almost hidden away.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is, and all the properties are huge.
Yeah. Yes, it's been an existing right-of-way for at least 30-something years. It's amazing.
Is that your case, Mr. Ministeri?
Yes, sir.
Any questions from the board or any additional questions from the board? If not, can I have a motion?
Mr. Ministeri, I just bring your attention to the open permit for the swimming pool.
There are quite a few of them.
Well, you know how concerned we are with the safety issues.
Yes. And his intention is to close them all out in one swoop. Those are all the ones that you see from 2017, or should I say 2015 applications.
just
Those
the
are
shed.
all us, meaning my office.
1 second.
Hold it.
I apologize. It's, the swimming pool is a closed permit, Mr. Gano corrected it. But there's a variance for the shed for the pool, which is an open permit.
Yes.
So,
What's the shed variance grant?
We actually did get that variance. We received that variance. We got the approval on that.
you did. My
Permit.
concern questioning it, I was under I misread this. It should have, I looked at a pool having an open permit.
Yes.
It's not. It's closed,
Oh,
and hopefully
if-
they maintain its safety.
But if you have a shed already, why isn't this a second accessory structure?
Is the shed they're referring to, the shed that you're talking about?
Pool shed's coming down. If you look, there is that they call an existing, they call it an existing cabana, but it's a pool shed. That, one of those is coming down where we're actually building this.
Okay, got it.
So some of them will kind of
Yeah,
get squashed.
This is,
How many sheds are there right now?
Two, I believe.
2 sheds exist and a cabana exists.
where is the other shed?
Yeah,
I see the
I'm
one.
going by memory. Give me a second on that.
Okay, take a peek.
This is a second accessory structure.
There is Couture.
Cabana?
No, so there is only
Here.
just the one shed.
Here's the cabana. That's going to be demolished.
It is the one being demolished. That is correct. It also houses the mechanicals for the pool.
How many structures are there that are not the house?
There is one, what they're calling cabana, which is a shed. They call it a pool shed. There. That sits,
One structure.
yes, ma'am.
There's also a garage.
Yes, there is a detached garage, but the oddity of the detached garage is that it's so close to the existing house, it's really considered attached.
Okay. So the cabana or the shed that Mrs. D'Amato is talking about encompasses part of the area that is going to be occupied by a portion of the new shed?
100%.
If this is granted.
You are correct, yes.
Thank you.
They're demolishing, so the only structure other than the garage and house is this you call shed, and it's on here, it's referenced as the cabana that's being demolished.
Yes.
Okay, and is that the shed that you didn't close the permit yet on?
Correct.
So they got it, variance for that
They
shed in
want the
17?
shed, yes.
And now they're tearing it down?
Theoretically, in 15, yes. We applied for it in 2015, they got it finalized in 17. We picked the permit up. They wanted that actually permitted. That's when we applied for this. This was actually applied for in 19, the cabana that we're going for today.
In the cabana that's to be demolished, what's in that?
There's some mechanical equipment for the pool and like floaties and chairs and all the stuff that they store.
Bathroom?
There's no bathroom in it. There's
Is
no
there-
plumbing in it.
Is there any existing outdoor kitchen anywhere, like barbecue kitchen?
No. Right now, they're barbecuing back at the house. So it's just a rolling barbecue right now.
Any other questions from the board?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Montessori will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Thank you.
Thank you, have a nice day.
All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Next, we have cases 303-23 through 305-23, Lido Beach. Gene Serowick. Maintain 6-foot-high fence forward of dwelling. Maintain masonry wall forward of dwelling, varying in height from 3 foot 8 inches to 5 foot 4 inch high, which may substantially obstruct line of sight. Variance side yard, maintain 2 AC units attached to dwelling, also known as 495 Lido Boulevard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and address for the record.
Yes,
What's that?
both of us.
Please right here. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please take a seat, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Jean M. Serwick, 495 Lido Boulevard, Lido Beach, New York.
I'm Bruce Serwick, same address.
Okay, so you're here today to request the right to maintain your 6-foot-high fence forward of the dwelling and a masonry wall forward of the dwelling, which varies in height. Is the fence on top this wall?
I'm sorry.
No,
Is the, sorry.
separate entity.
Is not anything the fence is attached to?
No.
We get that.
Yes, not.
And a couple of air conditioning units, right? How long has the fence been in its current location?
The fence?
Okay, we're talking about the wooden fence.
The wooden fence. Two pieces of.
The picket fence.
Right.
I put that up 2 days before Hurricane Sandy as a temporary break, not knowing what was going to happen, and on my to-do list was to take it down. It's still up.
Okay.
It will be down tomorrow. I wanted to take it down in front of the inspector. It's not installed in the ground. There are 2 metal clips that hold it in place. Takedown time is 5 minutes. I should have taken it down, and that's all on me.
Okay, wait, so this wooden stockade fence to which you refer
Yes.
is, you're taking that down, and I'm trying to, it's hard for me to tell on here where it, I see where it, does it go from the masonry wall to the house, at the front of the house on both sides? Is that the one that it?
Can I submit this to you,
Can we
maybe?
show this to you, Mrs. Demonis?
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's the wall. She wants to see the fences.
Oh, the fences?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There you go. You can see they're just standing,
Freestanding.
freestanding.
Here, Dawn, ask him to mark in green the fence he wants to take down. Well, I think I did the sides, but I need to see, it's hard to read that.
Okay.
Okay.
Everywhere where the fence
Yeah,
is
it's
that you
2
wish to take
pieces.
down.
Wait. This is the front. So the fence is,
Okay.
the wooden fence is here
One is there, and one is on the other side.
and
That's all
here.
it is.
entire fence that you're going to remove, you've marked, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's just those two little pieces?
Yes,
Okay.
just two pieces.
Now, from that, tell us where the 6-foot fence is that you wish to keep. It's located.
I don't want to
We don't
keep
want to
any of
keep
them.
anything, that's all we had. That's what he got
Because
us.
your first request here is to maintain the 6-foot-high fence forward of the dwelling.
Right.
So is there any 6-foot-high fence
No.
forward of your dwelling you wish to maintain? Okay, so we'll withdraw that from your request. So now, the masonry wall, which you've shown me photos of now, maintain for the dwelling varying in height from 3.8 to 5.4. Is that right? Is that?
Yes.
It's this house.
Yeah. Okay, and then you just need your air conditioning units. You want to maintain your air conditioning units?
Well, yes, we had them put in over 20 years ago, and they are about, maybe, we have pictures of those too, maybe.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay, I just
So
want to
don't
make
know
sure
what
we're covered.
they want us to do, because that's how, they were put away from the house, they're not raised because of sanding, but they're there.
I understand. So we're here for that wall, those two little pillars, and your air conditioning units, that covers it?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, and how long has the decorative masonry wall been there?
This
Oh.
year, it is 22 years old.
22 years? You have that other picture? The one, the whole picture?
Yeah, I gave it.
Oh, good.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish to add?
Nope, that's it.
Just so you are aware, there is an open permit dated 2021 to maintain the existing front portico. That should be closed out
Yes.
along with everything else.
Yes,
And there
okay.
is, for the record, there is a letter from one of your neighbors, Danielle Guadiosi, who is in favor of your application. That
Thank
is
you.
also in the file. Do I have any other questions from the board?
Decision calendar, pardon me. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have
Have
a
a
good
nice
day.
day, folks.
Yes.
All in favor? Any opposed, any abstentions? Why do we do that? We do it twice.
Next, we have case 30623, Merrick Richard Porcaro. Variance, lot area occupied, construct second-story addition, front roof over porch, roof over rear porch, all attached to dwelling, also known as 34 Verbena Avenue. Let the record reflect, I have you sworn in from earlier.
Yes.
Thank
You
you.
Again, once again, good morning, members of the board, Mr. Chair. My name is Mark Anthony Monastery, architect. My office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore, and this morning I'm representing my clients, Mr. and Mrs. Porcaro, who are the owners and the occupants of the subject property. This morning requesting a variance for a proposed first-floor addition and front and rear porches, which is also combined with a second-story addition, which would put this undersized non-conforming property over the lot coverage permitted. My clients purchased this house several years ago and have had since 3 boys. Now they are seeing that they're outgrowing the house, but loving the neighborhood, they opted to expand the second floor and open the first floor, allowing each of their boys to have their own bedroom. Along with this expansion, they would love to have a covered area in the rear to escape the sun, and a porch in the front of the house, which would greatly increase the aesthetics of the home. Our only request today is to increase the lot coverage from the permitted 27.5% to 31.9%. This is an overage of 4.4%, or 220 square feet. I would like to, just as a reminder and add to this, that this is an undersized piece of property in a B zone of only 5,000 square feet, whereas if this was 6,000 square feet, our lot coverage would only be 26.5%, which would be in our right, wouldn't require the variance hearing. Yes, ma'am.
And as it relates to the front and rear roof over porches, are the porches already there? And they just want to have the roof?
So in the rear, we're rebuilding a first floor addition because it's a little shabby. It was kind of, Yeah, as of right, we're rebuilding that on the first floor. Next to that, we're building a covered area in the rear, and in the front, we're building a relatively small but still aesthetically nice-looking porch to the front. It's those two items that actually put us over on lot coverage. It also has a detached garage in the back of it, which is a reasonable size. Not yet.
Move in yourself shortly thereafter.
That concludes my case.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Montessori will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's
His
rendered.
name is not Montessori, that's a school. His name is Monastery.
That's correct.
Are you done?
But I'll take it anyway. She only know him.
Sounds like a
Are
school.
you done?
All in favor?
Thank you all. Always. Me too.
I didn't see it.
I believe in this country still.
You didn't? You didn't see it?
Where is it?
Oh.
On the back of it? No, I don't need to see it. That's a, no, be my guest. What does it say?
Move closer, Mr. Montessori.
They named the school after him. Patrick? Oh, that's it.
Next, we have case 30723 near East Rockaway, MSJ Homes LLC. Variances, lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line. Lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, rear yard construct 3-story dwelling with garage, also known as 9 James Street.
Big as this piece.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, I do. Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Good morning. My name is Cole Gartmayer, an agent from HLS Expediting, 180 Gloria Boulevard, Hauppauge, New York, 11788. Here representing MSJ Homes, LLC. Doing business at 27 Lloyd Street, New Hyde Park, New York, 11040. An application was filed to essentially for a proposed 3-story dwelling. Realistically, it's just a 2-story dwelling here, but as a result of being so close to the water and in keeping with the post-Sandy trend, they raised the living space up a story and putting a garage underneath. That's what's pushing us over the 3-story. This is a rather undersized lot as well, with a total lot area of only 2,250 feet. So as a result of that undersized lot being so significant, we're now seeking several other variances as far as lot area, front yard width from and on street line to the front yard setback line, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yard and side yard aggregates, rear yard, and again, that's kind of encompassing it there.
You want to go through the numbers, lot area?
So the required lot area, the minimum required is 6,000. The actual lot area of this property is 2,250.
How much?
So the actual lot size is 2,250. So it's less than 50% of what is a minimum required lot size for this area. Although that's from what I understand, it's somewhat in keeping with the East Rockaway trend of having undersized lots. So we're looking for a building coverage of 974.56 square feet, where 675 square feet would be the max. We're looking for a 43.31% lot coverage, where 30 is the max. A front yard setback of 6 feet and 7 inches, where 23 feet and 5 inches is the average front yard setback. Rear yard setback of 23 feet 3 inches, where 25 is the minimum. So our proposed is 23 feet 3 inches. Side yard and side yard aggregate, we are proposing 3-foot minimum for the side yard and 6-foot minimum for the aggregate, where 5 feet minimum and 15 aggregate is required. And for the ridge height, we are requesting 29 feet 4 inches, or again, this is going to be a 3-story home, but it's impartial because it is so close to the water. The garage is going to be under the living space, so it's really a two-story home that's just been raised up, so that way, you know, they don't run into any flooding issues like that with the garage underneath, which is fairly, from what I understand, fairly common in, you know, high flood zone areas.
Right, what is the BFE in this zone? Are you in a FEMA zone?
I believe so. They are right across from the water, right there, so I do believe they are in a BFE zone.
This is a significant amount of very significant variances, that's why I'm
Correct, and
trying to get my arms around it.
No, understood 100%, and I think a big reason why why this is seeming like such a significant variance and like such a large ask is being that, again, the lot is so undersized. There was previously a home here. From my understanding, it was demolished. The next three cases I have, they are all similar situations where the homes were either damaged during Sandy or in poor condition, and they had been removed at some point. So at one point, there was an existing residence on the premises.
Wait a second.
Go ahead.
If we're being asked to make this lot into a legal building lot,
Correct.
right? How was the house already there before?
There, at one point, there was a dwelling. So as I mentioned, there are three properties that are all similar situations. One of them had a house existing on it that was demolished recently as a result of.
Which one was that?
If I just may confer with my client for just.
Go ahead.
Nine that had the house? Nine? So this property is the one that had a house on the lot when my clients purchased it, and it was demolished in order to make room for them to rebuild a more aesthetically pleasing and new dwelling.
Okay, hold on, I need a few things just so I can follow along.
Understood.
So case number 307 pertains to which lot on our radius map?
May I approach?
Well, you can just use the lot number and tell me.
So we're lot number 118.
Is case 307, okay. And are you case 308 also?
308 and 309 as well, correct.
Okay, so what lot is 308?
308 is 108, lot 108.
Hold on, 108 is case 308, okay. And what lot is case 309?
309 is lot 21.
And 22.
309, is
Is
it?
that 21 and 22? Looks like it.
On my plans here, I just referenced 21. If I can look at the radius map, I can specify more
Does
further.
it go all the way to the corner?
I believe so.
Then it's 21 and
Have a
22.
radius map?
Not in front of me. May I just
Approach,
take a look at the
please.
one?
Show this real quick.
Yes, so that is correct, 21 and 22.
Okay, now
Apologize.
just to make sure we get some foundational stuff here. Which of these lots have previously had a house on them, and which still have a house?
So, as it stands currently, there is no house on any of these lots.
Okay,
As I understand it, 9 James Street, when my client purchased the home fairly recently, that there was an existing dwelling there that had been removed because it was in disrepair, not in good condition.
9 James Street being lot 118, case 307.
Correct.
Okay,
The other two lots, so cases 308 and 309, they at one point did have houses on those lots. After Hurricane Sandy, they were at some point, whether it was as a result of Sandy or shortly after, they were demolished due to either storm damage or by the storm itself.
So all three lots had previously had.
Correct, yes. These are the only 3 current vacant lots in the area, and as you can see from the radius, all of the lots are similar, undersized lots.
Well,
And-
it's save lots 21 and 22.
Since, to your knowledge, since the houses were put on the lots previously, the old houses that used to be on them, were the lots ever made any smaller?
To my knowledge, no.
So the lots that had houses on them are the same size, as far as you know, as the lots you're coming before us now for.
Correct, yes. To my knowledge, that is the case.
So why do they need us to make them legal building lots?
They lost their non-conforming, I would imagine. I don't know,
These are not direct, like, it's not necessarily like a direct rebuild, if that may be the reason why the building department kicked it over to you guys. It's not a direct rebuild because some of these structures had not been here, it's been years since the structure was on 2 of these lots, and one of them, it was fairly recently rebuilt, but maybe I would have to guess, maybe because they are.
Wait, one of them was recently rebuilt?
I'm sorry, no, none of them are built currently. One of them was recently demolished, and 2 of the lots are still vacant. So,
Right, what I'm trying to understand is that when we're asked to basically, I consider it legalize a building lot. When we're asked to approve lot area, that's in essence asking us to say, we're approving this size lot as a building lot. But since they already had houses on them, and those size of those lots have not been changed since those houses were on them, I'm not sure, I'm a little confused as to why they're not already legal building lots.
understood.
So I'm,
Okay, understood. I
Trying to
apologize. I
understand that.
misinterpreted.
I don't, I don't know that this gentleman is qualified to answer that question. I think the building department, I mean, if you have that question, it should be directed to them. No, I agree with that.
okay, so I think,
You don't, if I may,
You may.
you don't know what was on this lot before, the size
the
and.
house.
From
if it was
my
a
understanding, it was
non-conforming-
just single-family structures.
But you don't know how large.
No, I do not.
Okay, so,
Can we ask him to approach, because I don't think he's adequate with his answers.
pardon me?
He's not adequate to answer the questions. I don't.
Right, well, he can go ahead and give us whatever information he wants to give us. I mean, it's up to you. I just want to find.
Do you want to
the search.
approach, please?
But I understand.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, after conferring with my client and the board, we look to request an adjournment so we can do some research into what was existing on all of these parcels and present a little bit more information to the board when presenting our proposed houses.
How long would you like?
What would the next date available be? I know a few other adjournments occurred as well.
Patrick? Joe? I'm sorry.
May I suggest, Patrick, Mr. Owens, that you call all three of these cases so that they're before us? Sure. And then we can go forward with an
Absolutely.
adjournment for all three cases.
Thank you.
Okay. Since 307 is already open, just
Correct.
308, 309?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're also going to call case 30823, near East Rockaway, PST Fine Homes LLC. Variances, lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, construct three-story dwelling with garage, formerly known as 14 James Street. Also, we're going to call case 30923, near East Rockaway, MSJ Homes LLC. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard setbacks on 8th Avenue and James Street, side yard, rear yard, construct three-story dwelling with garage and 3 AC units attached thereto, formerly known as 10 8th Avenue.
So we're going to adjourn all three cases for the same date
So,
and time.
Mr. Chairman, June 14th, 9:30?
You think you'll have enough time?
Yes.
Okay.
So we own, it's MSJ Homes LLC and PST Fine Homes LLC. The other entity that you mentioned, I don't believe so. No. For June 14th?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Okay. June 14th, 9:30 a.m., all three cases.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what?
So she was signing in favor.
She's not here.
Understood. Yes, understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the morning calendar. Do we want to take a 10-minute break? Come back and do decisions? No, we do not. Terrible. Pardon? It's busy. Okay, so, decision calendar, decisions. Case 298 of 2023, Freeport Merrick Rotary Club was granted from the bench. All right, Case 299 of 2023, the Museum of Urban Arts was also granted from the bench with certain conditions which were enumerated by Mr. Bavone. Case 296 of 2023, Inwood, Andrew Caparelli. Do I have any discussion? It's a renewal of a grant to maintain a two-family dwelling, 165 Jefferson Street.
Don't we require the applicant to come in on these cases, on renewals of two families? Does that sound familiar, guys?
Usually, I feel that's usually the case, but I don't know if it's required.
Okay.
Not a representative?
They said it's been a two-family for over 65 years.
Yes.
The family's been
So,
there.
go.
Okay,
Do I
so
have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 296 of 23, Inwood, Andrew Caparelli at 165 Jefferson Street, be approved as requested with the two-family conditions.
5 years?
5 years.
5 years?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Case 297 at 23 North Belmore, Marie Bliss. Do I have any discussion from the board?
Yeah, I was wondering if it would be possible, given, I just wanted to confirm before even deliberating on this, because I'm not sure about this, but could we just check to make sure that whatever needs to be in place on that 280A issue, that it's properly in place? It's a, you know, and there's a
hold it?
school at the end.
So
Yeah, I'd like
hold.
to.
So just check to see if there's variances for 288 days.
Yeah, that, you saw that, there's the, before we can even, yeah, because it's also a school.
Cases 300 to 302 of 23. That case has been adjourned to June 17th at 9:30 a.m. Case 303 of 2023 to 305 2023, Lido Beach, Jean Surwick. Do I have any discussion?
I have that, and I'll make a motion also, Mr. Chairman. I would just want to say for the record, while it, number one, I would move that we remove the request for the 6-foot fence forward of the dwelling, as the applicant testified there was no intention of keeping it. It must have been an administrative error, and that there is a small pieces of 6-foot fence that are to be taken down, that will be taken down immediately. They don't wish to maintain them. Secondly, there's a masonry wall request for the dwelling varying in height from 3 feet to about 5 feet. And I just want to note for the record that it runs along the side of the house, and the bulk of that is much closer to the 3-foot number. It's sort of a scalloped, so there are a few minor places where it reaches to that approximate 5-foot height. It's just important the record be clear on that, given that I don't want it to be inaccurately reflected as having any precedential value as to fences forward of the dwelling in the Lido Beach area. So I would move with that discussion, Mr. Chairman, that as it relates to both cases, the cases 303, 304, and 305, that 303 be dismissed, 304 and 305 be approved as requested.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? All right, case 306 of 2023, Merrick Richard Porcaro. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move that case 306 of 2023 at 34, the applicant is Richard Porcaro, 34 Verbena Avenue in Merrick, be granted as requested.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Cases 307, 308, and 309 of 2023 have been adjourned to June 14th at 9:30 a.m.
I'm sorry, one thing, Mr. Vogel. Would you mind inquiring, Dawn tried to initially, can we find out a little bit about the houses that were previously on the lots and if they were legally there? Because I'm still a little confused as to why we,
The lots are legal non-conforming themselves, and why they don't.
if they're legal building lots on the town, in the town's records, I'm not sure why we're being asked to approve them as legal building lots, basically.
Case 310 of 2023, 37 Buffalo Avenue, East Atlantic Beach, has been adjourned to June 28th, 2023 at 9:30. Along with cases 11, 311, and 312. I had to turn the page. And that concludes the morning calendar. What do we have in the way of reserved decisions?
Mr. Chairman, I once again spoke to Mr. Bonesso concerning MGVG Seaford, the Starbucks. Again, he requested that we hold that as he's still working with the engineers for Starbucks in an attempt to create a new plan, which has a better drive-through situation for queuing the cars.
Okay.
As it relates to 630 of 22, I provided the board with another updated decision concerning the property located at 64 Mineola Avenue in Point Lookout. Again, I want to emphasize that we basically designate the structure as a rooftop structure. It is not a story based on the size of its footprint. The fact that it has a ceiling of only 5 feet 11 inches, it will only be used for storage. It should not be converted to living space, and there isn't sufficient light or ventilation to be considered habitable. Shall not be utilized as living space. All the conditions in that also specify that it shall not be enclosed, should not be converted to living space, and restrictive covenants are required to be filed. Also, there was something in there regarding never being subdivided, which we also included as a condition.
And these restricted covenants are specifically, it's noted that specifically those must reflect that it shall never be enclosed, right?
Yes, conditions 11 and 12, the rooftop deck as depicted pursuant to applicant's Exhibit 3 shall not be enclosed. The rooftop deck as depicted pursuant to applicant's Exhibit 3 shall not be converted to living space. There should be no plumbing in the rooftop structure. The rooftop structure shall not be converted into a bathroom. The rooftop structure shall only be utilized for storage space.
And any violation of these conditions will void?
Void, I changed that. We added the language as opposed to we reserve the right, we are voiding any of the grants at any point.
By operational law.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, as it relates to case 630 of 2022, let's see, okay. I move that, that's in Point Lookout, I'm sorry, 64 Mineola Avenue.
Correct.
I move that we, hold on, do I need to move we grant it or just move to adopt it?
Adopt the grant.
I move that we adopt the grant, the draft grant prepared by council to the board that will effectively grant this case.
I second that motion.
All in favor? Any opposed, any abstentions?
Pertaining to cases 222 through 227, I still have not heard back from council on this one. As the board knows, this is a renewal of a grant. Now, we basically stated that they should probably request a rehearing on this matter because of the previous testimony stating that. Do we want to deny this and then ask, or do we want to hold this until they come back with the rehearing? We can hold it. This is the Spot restaurant. It came for a renewal. They asked for make it permanent. We looked at the prior testimony, and in that testimony, they asked for a 5-year grant because they intended on converting it to 2 residences. That was back in 2007. They obviously did not intend to do that, and now they want to have a permanent grant for the restaurant, which we believe the best remedy would be a rehearing as opposed to talking about the renewal.
What's the name of this marina? Is it called Whale Neck or something?
Unfortunately, I'm not aware. It is the Spot Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Parkside Cafe. It's a marina, I know.
It's not that one either.
Okay, what's the question?
So we can hold this until I get the rehearing request from council.
Let's do that.
Yeah, because we can't, I don't think we should be granted the renewal. Does the board have any further input on FCFC Realty?
I mean, I tend to feel like there is I tend to feel like it's somewhat reasonable. I mean, yes, if there isn't demand for the business, in most businesses, it won't be successful. So on one hand, people think, oh, well, we already have too many laundromats. We hear that often enough in laundromat cases. But on the flip side, I mean, I do give some credence to the concern that there's, a high intensity of laundromats in the Uniondale area, and that it isn't just, the business will sustain it. Fact of the matter is, it's happened in other communities where all the laundromats get put in one neighborhood, so no one doesn't have to have them in their neighborhood, and then they just drive to that neighborhood and use the laundry facilities. So, I mean, I don't think that their concerns were unfounded, and I don't think it's simply an analysis of, well, you must need them because they're staying in business. The fact of the matter is, there are negative side effects, arguably, to laundromats. The chemicals used in them, the effluent, et cetera. So I don't know how we get to a more conclusive place in our analysis. How do we do that? Anybody? Leader, chairman? How do we move forward in concluding our analysis? Because I feel sort of stuck in not, I just feel like I don't have enough information or something. What else would you need? Well, that's my question. How do we move forward? Agreed. And I think that what's that?
This was a case that was denied previously, subject to an Article 78, we were sustained by the courts, went to the second part, and the second part was sustained the previous decision. There are less dryers and washers than what was previously proposed. For all intents and purposes, it's the same footprint, the same structure, very similar.
I went to look at it, and,
I don't believe, and I didn't read any of the decisions. Well, I may have read them, but I can't remember them. However, I don't think the basis of the appellate division, their holding was that there were too many washers and dryers. I think the basis of their decision was it's inappropriate to put it there.
And along the same lines, that's exactly what would it be possible to print out a quick, or give us a framework for the factors we should consider? I know we know this in a lot of cases, but if we could just extract the factors from the decision, then I think that would help me at least to move forward.
Yeah, but this is basically the same thing that we denied. We were upheld with respect to the Article 78.
It was on a special exception.
Right, it went to the appellate division. The appellate division agreed with us.
yes.
Okay, all right, I have a motion.
What's your motion?
With respect to 243 of 2023, located at 929 Front Street in Uniondale, I move to deny this.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Off the record, the appellate division will have their second check. Okay. How about case 160 of 2023? Mrs. D'Amato?
Pardon me?
Did you inspect and review the previous case?
160.
East Rock.
Oh, I think this is the one I just got the transcript on today.
Minutes? So do you want to hold it?
Yes,
For
please.
another week? Okay. The same.
As it relates to case 163 of 23, JGAP, the bar in Seaford. I believe that we discussed last time or last week that the spaces in Willoughby were not legal spaces. The ones in Merrick the ones on Merrick may be legal non-conforming. There's a practical difficulty as it relates because we are dealing with a tenant, a prospective tenant, not the owner. If I could make a recommendation, depending on how the board would like to approach this, if they have a problem with the parking, I think it would be amenable that they deny the parking and put a notice of violation on the owner. So the owner would be the one to properly legalize the parking. I know it may be difficult for the tenant here, but I don't believe the tenant is the proper party to be bringing this application.
I agree with that, 100%.
Okay.
My motion would be, if I should make a motion, would be to
Should make a motion.
grant the public assembly an amusement, but deny the variance in off-street parking. So it would be a
How
granted in
can
part.
we do that?
Grant the
can.
part, the dying part.
We can do that.
Wait, but if
You're
the
going to deny the
parking-
parking on Willoughby.
But if
Is
the
that correct?
parking request is being necessitated by the expansion, or the use of the premises in this manner, the proposed manner, how do we grant that without the concomitant parking? I don't know that, I'm not suggesting we grant it all, I'm just trying to think.
We have done that in the past.
We've done it in the past. What it would be is if the parking is, I mean, the expansion of the business would be doing that. However, it just means they would still be able to get their permits, they would not be able to get their CO. So if they don't get their CO, they can put pressure on the owner to actually come in and legalize it so that they wouldn't be able to get the CO in the future.
How's it going to legalize the parking in Willoughby?
I don't even know whether or not that's accurate.
I mean, maybe,
No, but they could get a CO, we don't have to give, what about a waiver of parking? It's the same idea.
well, you're granting a variance. It may be a more intense variance, but you're granting a variance.
But we're saying, we're gonna grant you the right to use this premises for this amusement and assembly, but we're gonna do so without the required parking that goes with it, or a variance therefore.
Correct. It's like a waiver of off-street parking. We're denying this existing parking and in effect giving them a waiver of parking. Why don't we,
I'm
why,
not sure that works.
what, I believe, I've had conversations
I also
with,
spoke with the building department concerning this. We can do it that way. I don't know if we want, the thing is, like, as a practical matter, we can't improve the parking unless the owner comes in.
right,
And we don't want to basically give the owner a windfall, a dangerous condition, because it is a very dangerous parking lot, strictly because a tenant did all the legwork.
Okay, can I just back up? I apologize. What is the premises currently being used for?
There's a nail salon,
there's a couple,
Okay,
it used to be a retail store,
Okay,
what this
so
guy's
the
converting.
parking that it has now with it is the parking that goes with the
The
retail,
whole,
you say?
it's a little strip mall.
But are you saying it currently enjoys a retail parking arrangement in terms of variances? And so now we're gonna say, okay, and we're gonna approve you to do a more intensive theoretical.
Piano bar, yes.
No, I like the idea of the piano bar, but I'm just a little confused about how we grant that use. We say, okay, you can use it this way that the town says requires more parking, but we're not gonna require you to have more parking. I don't see how we do that.
It's a mathematical equation.
And the other option is to give them a greater parking variance than was being requested, because they have 31 spaces, even though the ones on Willoughby are illegal. So if we wanted to get rid of the ones on Willoughby, we can condition the parking grant to be you have 26 spaces and you require 36, and we have to remove the ones on Willoughby.
That again is
When
leaning
we
on
say-
the landlord and not the
Right, and also,
tenant.
can we really condition you have to remove the spaces on a tenant, because the landlord.
No, I'm all in favor of making the landlord do what he needs to do. Don't get me wrong. So are these the ones on Willoughby that we wanted him to block?
Yeah.
Are those
Yeah.
the ones that I wanted him to block?
And to fill in the curb cut too, because
Yeah.
it's actually on the sidewalk and
Yes.
people being hit by cars.
Right.
So what is, well, can't we, if we don't grant this piano bar, that landlord's gonna lose his tenant, right? Theoretically.
America's
So
illegal
can't
also,
we
I
make
think.
him come, won't he come in
That's
for
why
that
we should
reason?
just get rid of it, let the building department do it.
Won't the landlord come in if the tenant calls him and says, hey buddy, if you don't get in here and deal with this parking thing with me, then I'm not gonna be able to lease the space? Or has that been tried already?
I would look to reach out to them and basically.
What
say
does the
we're-
tenant say?
He just wants a grant.
Oh, so no one's discussed it with the tenant, say, tell the landlord we need him to come in, or?
We want to reopen it specific to the
If,
landlord company?
if we deny the parking, that's going to force the building department to take action against the landlord.
Right.
Well, can't we just send him out now?
No,
Oh, no,
they're not,
because they're not in,
they're not
Stay at
interested.
enforcement. Also stay at enforcement.
Right.
Right, this is correct.
So that's why I think, and I've had discussion with
I
Rob
just think
about
that's
this.
gonna bite us in the ass if we grant something without the required thing that goes with it safety-wise and every other way.
But that's what we're not doing. We're denying the parking, which is that part of that safety issue. The use as a piano bar is perfectly okay.
It's not okay.
It's the parking. I understand, because you need the parking for it to be.
It's like they go
If
together.
there's no, it's a similar situation to grant a waiver of off-street parking. If they don't like, if there's no parking, they're not gonna go there. That's my theory.
No, but I just think we need, what do we need the landlord
What?
to do? To close off that area?
Basically, we want to close it.
It's on merit, you know,
Unstrike those
it's-
spaces on Willoughby and fill in the curb
Yeah.
cut, the drop curb. So as long as they have those lines there and the drop curves there, people are gonna use that as parking.
Wait, so
Well, yeah,
why
he
can't we
redid
just
everything.
call the landlord and tell him? Or somehow, can't we get a message to him that is, look, we have this before us, we're very
Let's hang it up
seriously
that
considering
applicant.
denying it unless we can get a.
Concerning the next case, yeah, so this is the 6-foot fence forward of the dwelling. I know there was concerns regarding the legalization of a 6-foot fence because it basically would permit them to have any sort of pool or anything in the rear yard because it's a legal enclosure. I don't know if the board wanted to, I mean, I can see this going a couple of directions. Either we can tell them to bring the fence back to be flush with the face of the house, and therefore the fence would be legal. We can tell them to lower it to 5 feet, because if it's 5 feet, that wouldn't be a legal pool enclosure. Or it can be granted as they requested if the board is not concerned about them inserting a pool in the rear yard. But that's all I can figure out as our options when it comes to this matter.
I'm in favor of granting the fence at 5 feet. It complies with the town and the state code, and it precludes the applicant from installing free of oversight, basically any other structure in that area that is enclosed by said fence. So I would move, did you already draft something?
I'd address it.
Okay.
Want to draft it?
So I would move that as it relates to case 275 through cases 275, 278, that we grant the shed, that we grant the second accessory structure with the usual shed conditions, that we grant the pool equipment in the side yard, and that we require that the fence surrounding the pool that's in the other front yard be maintained at 5 feet, not 6.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Case 265 of 2023.
Yeah, I provided a draft decision to the board on this. It was a little more simplistic, but I wanted to focus on the 3 areas of the standards for area variances, as they retain the substantiality of the variance, that they can achieve this relief by other means, and that it was self-created. That gives us cover. If we do file a 78, we can expand and extrapolate on those in our findings.
Mr. Chairman, can we, I haven't had a chance to
All right,
read
we're
that.
gonna
Thank you.
hold that decision until you
I'll-
read the
so
draft.
I'll read it.
Okay. Next case, 285 of 2023.
Provided the board with another draft grant concerning this case. I include the hours of operation, the lack of any live music pursuant to how the Hempstead Town Code, Section 96-1A defines it, bar service only, and occupancy set at 62 individuals, which is the number that the building department and me confirmed is the total, the max.
Did everyone read it? Would anyone like a chance to read it if they have not, or can we have a motion to adopt the draft grant? Well, that's right, okay. Do I have a sequel motion? Would anyone like to try to make one?
285.
Hold on.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, as it relates to case 285 of 2023 in Elmont, Amulet Lundy and Diu's Restaurant Bar and Grill Incorporated, located at 475 Hempstead Turnpike, I would move that based on the materials in the file, the review by the town, and the testimony at the hearing, that the board adopt a negative declaration as to the CEQA determination.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Next.
Mr. Chairman, as it relates to the same case, I would further make a motion that the board adopt the draft grant prepared by council.
Second?
Second?
All in favor? Next case, 286, cases 286 through 293 of 2023. Did the applicant submit updated site plans? So we'll hold that case.
We were holding 249.
We're holding
Yep.
249 through
251.
251 until the applicant attempts to clean it up.
Yeah, and I didn't provide a draft in 1025 of 17. I know there was confusion as to the location of space number 27. I did provide a site plan to the board showing that space 27 was right against the property. I spoke with Monty Leeper. If anything, I think a grant on this would just be reaffirming what was previously granted and submitting the site plan stating exactly where 27 is.
The original site
The original site plan stating exactly where 27 is. So I can either put that together, or we can make a motion and I can do it afterwards, up to you
Put
guys.
it together.
Put it together? Okay, no problem.
So we'll hold that one. Hopefully you'll clear out the rats. On the referral calendar, do we have anything?
No, they're still sitting on.
Okay.
Nothing fun on that one.
Administrative.
Okay, first I have the extensions of time, 2 extensions of time. One is, first, Mr. Pellegrini, Equinox Venture. This was a 1-story retail building located near Valley Stream on 23702 Linden. There was delays apparently in the building department. That's all they provided. Muhammad Amin, which was a residential case in Franklin Square, Center Drive, for roof over terrace. He's having difficulty getting all the clearances for insurance, electrical permits, that stuff with the building department, so it's taking time.
These, both of these are very current. The Equinox was granted by the board 1/11/23. They need, as Mr. Vogel said, need to secure a permit, and case number 830, Muhammad Amin, was granted 12/14, happy birthday, 22. I move that the board grant a 1-year extension of time for these 2 applicants to get their building permits.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
Next, I have a request for a rehearing of the Pt1 residence. It was application number 209212, heard in 2021. We granted a side yard aggregate variance back then. They were fooling around with the building department back and forth. They changed the plans a little bit, further encroaching into the side yard aggregate, and they've also blown their time for an extension of time. So they would need a rehearing to reconsider the increase in the side yard, or decrease in the side yard aggregate, as well as to rehear the case because they don't have extension of time. If anyone wants to.
Did they submit plans? At least a minimum of plot
Yeah,
plans?
and I confirmed this with the building department, because they're the ones that said that you gotta go back down for side yard aggregate, because you're encroaching over the side yard. I think it's a 13.68 side yard aggregate, required 15, granted over 14.1.
6 and 7 is 30, yeah. Okay. I move that we grant a rehearing for case number
Yeah, case number 92120.
921 of 20.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
And I have one more rehearing request. This woman, it is the Wallowitz property, I have a site plan decision here. We denied her fence on the property line, or she wanted to maintain a fence on the property line, case January 5th, 2023. She wanted an 8-foot fence right up on her property line. She came back and was requesting whether or not she would be able to maintain it where it currently was located, which is 6 feet off the property line and at 6 feet. That's where it currently exists. She wanted to expand it forward to increase her pool space, but now she just wants to legalize what was already there. It still would be forward of the dwelling, it would still require the same variances, but there would be a setback, and she was hoping for the opportunity to be recurred.
Anyone want to make that motion? This has to be unanimous, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
I move that we grant Ms. Swalowitz the rehearing based upon resubmission and a modification of
Case 28 of 23.
28 of 23.
all in favor?
Okay. Aye.
Granted.
That is all I have for the record.
Patrick?
Yeah, but we don't do that. Oh, do we want to do that? Yeah, okay, yeah, so we have one more thing. If you guys recall, the Taco Bell and Starbucks were granted a variance for Franklin Square. They now had to, I know we discussed how they redrew the plans because of the county didn't want to put a light there. They redrew them again. So they're coming back down. According to the building department, it does not require any further variances. However, it is a significantly different drawing of the site plan. If we can take a look.
Still requires a traffic light.
So yeah, so basically the way they move the ingress and egress of traffic is they put the salt, so this used to be over here for the salt dome, used to be a direct line here. They move it over here to run around the back, and the flow of traffic will be running through here for this drive-through and through here for this drive-through. Curb cut here, curb cut here. It doesn't require any more parking variances, nor is there any retail space that will be drawn, and it's just a redrawn.
This is how they get to the salt?
That's how they get to the salt dome.
This way?
This way, back, yep.
Where was the prior easement to allow them to get to the salt dome?
I actually don't know where the prior easement was. They did have it here. This is where originally it was drawn here.
And the county is going to consent to this?
County's fine with it. We got the 239F under these plans.
Wow.
That's what they're bringing it back to us to make sure. Okay. Doesn't require a motion or anything, just if you guys wanted to reopen for the testimony, you can, but if not, we'll let the building department know we're good to go.
Got it.
That's all I have.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful.